field, perhaps the most qualified in IndyCar history. World championships in both Formula One cars and sports cars. 7 IndyCar titles, 131 total IndyCar victories between them. Jimmy Vasser, who has won 3 of the first 5 races of the season and is the points leader coming into this race, will bring the field up to speed. And we have a crash in turn 4. A crash approaching the green flag, and many cars are involved.
Well, something has obviously gone wrong on cold tires. Maybe that might be the possibility. A half shaft braking. It looked like one of the cars went directly 90 degrees to the right, so we're not quite sure, and we got quite a collision here on our hands.
At least 9 cars involved, at least 9 cars stationary right now. No idea how many may be damaged, but still circulating. I see Eddie Lawson's car going by, missing half of its rear wing. You see the drivers climbing out of their cars. There is Jimmy Vasser, the pole sitter, as he makes his way away. We have a red flag on the racetrack. Obviously, this cannot continue. We have a red flag, all stop, and we'll start all over again. Let's get down to Jan Beekhuis in the pit lane.
Bob, because we have a red flag, we're down here with the Ganassi Racing crew, and they're quickly working on Jimmy Vasser's spare car. They are one of the few teams that has brought a spare car to pit road. They are hoping that they will be able to use this car. Of course, they'll have to wait for a ruling from IndyCar, but the crew frantically down here trying to get this car ready.
There is the scene from high overhead. Now we get word from the officials that backup cars will be eligible for the restart. On the left, Jimmy Vasser. On the right, Bryan Herta, talking the whole situation over. They were 2 of the 3 cars on the front row, and the action began right up there on the front row. It appears that all the drivers are out of their cars. The safety crews are working on them. Let's take another look, Scott.
Well, it looks like Jimmy Vasser on the pole position just turned right. Now, I would say something must have went wrong with the car, because if he got on the gas too soon on cold tires, usually the car would go to the inside like we've seen before numerous times, and this just turned right. So we're not quite sure why that is. So the guys are going evenly side by side, and a little bit of acceleration will come up here very shortly. I would say those 2 cars between Fernandez and Vasser are very close, very close. The left front wheel of Fernandez was hooking on the inside of Jimmy Vasser's right rear, and I would say those guys were probably just a little bit too close for the start.
Take another look and watch the action behind them as the second and third rows take evasive action. Vasser's car, the red one, spears up, touches Fernandez, collects Bryan Herta. Andre Ribeiro into the wall behind Herta. See Al Unser Jr. and Paul Tracy down low. They may have escaped the debris. Gilles de Ferran involved. And collisions at the back as well, because keep in mind, the cars at the back of the field are going every bit as quickly as those up front.
Well, many things are happening for the guys at the rear of the field. They're trying to miss everybody that's having problems in front of them if they're spinning, and you're also watching for debris, as the debris is maybe coming down across the track, or as you saw, maybe a few tires are bouncing off the pavement, and you want to make sure that they're not going to come down and land on top of you. But this is something that is just horrendous on the start, because the guys are wanting to turn around. Here's a different view right now. I've seen the guys from the rear package, and I would say everybody's very close, not wanting to give an inch here on the very beginning of the race. Looks like Fernandez is just coming down to catch the rear wheel of Jimmy Vasser.
And then it's all skate behind as everybody gets on the brakes. I have never seen anything like this, certainly not at IndyCar racing. So many cars involved as they approached the green flag. Literally half the field involved. Now you ride on board Vasser's car, looking to the rear. Let's watch and listen.
Well, there you go. Jimmy, you could tell by the in-car camera, was not accelerating. It was even throttle, and obviously the 2 guys just touched wheels and off they went.
And a melee ensued. There is Alex Zanardi, Jimmy Vasser's teammate, sitting in his car in the pit area. There you see some of the damage, the residue of a spectacular collision.